Hey, I'm back again, and guess what? I found yet another twin. We look exactly alike. That scares you a little bit, doesn't
not
it?
Not at all. I'm on it too.
All right. So this is Nixty, is what I call him. If you'd like to tell your real name of what it is.
My real name is Nick Smith. I'm a product manager on Amazon EventBridge.
That's right, and he's one of the good ones. I mean, we have a lot of good ones, but he's one of the good ones. We love Nick. We love working with Nick. We love working with EventBridge. But that's all we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
So we did a cool little project together.
We did. It was super fun.
Yeah, you're watching this video right now. Hopefully you are on video.serverlessland.com, and this is called Serverless Video. And after this processes, well, let's step back for a minute. We built a plugin, Nick and I, that uses some new Adobe integration stuff, and I want to kind of talk about that, and then we'll talk about what it does. But first of all, let's start with EventBridge. What is EventBridge?
So EventBridge, there's three aspects of EventBridge, or three services within it. The one that's most well known is the Event Bus. That launched back in 2019. It allows you to take events from various different places. That's the bus.
I
loved it. You can take events from these different places, AWS services, publish your own events, but then also third-party integrations with things like Salesforce, Zendesk, Datadog, and then most recently we announced this integration with Adobe, which has been a super cool one. You know, Adobe have this whole suite of different products, Creative Cloud that has Photoshop APIs. They've got a ton of cool things around document signing, around analytics. So there's all of these great capabilities in Adobe. Yeah. And I think, you know, we were looking at this going, hey, what can we do with serverless video? And there's this really cool idea that you came up with, I think, which was to take a thumbnail from the video, actually send that to the Photoshop API to say, let's do some cool things with it, make us look hopefully a little bit better than we actually look like in real life. Thank you, Photoshop.
Add thumbs.
And then essentially, you know, that request to Photoshop is an asynchronous request, right? So we make a call to the API, but we don't get the image back immediately. Right. Potentially that could take quite a lot of time, right? You have to like pull out layers.
Runs a long script.
Yeah, a whole lot of things that we're adding to that. So that's an asynchronous API, which means it starts a job in Adobe that goes and does some processing. And then when it's finished, the idea is that it can call back to EventBridge to say, hey, here's an event that lets you know that job has completed, and you can now update the thumbnail for this video with the one that's been processed from Adobe Photoshop.
That's exactly right. And so how we do it, so we have a plugin system built into serverless video, and it's all done by step functions. And in step functions, you have the ability to send and say, wait for completion. And we don't want it to just sit there. Now, of course, we have timeouts built in, but we need to know when Adobe's done so that we can continue the process. So, you know, we could call, we could pull, and constantly do that. But what was really handy is if we could just get an event back from Adobe and say, hey, it's done. So that's what we did. And the plugin just sends an event. I have a Lambda function that triggers and says it's done. It sends it into the step functions, and we're done. And the resulting event is we get this cool like purple haze, and it kind of puts the subject in front of it, and there's all kinds of cool things.
It does weird things with my beard.
It does.
That's on us. That's because we do a great job of configuring that Photoshop.
We probably need to tweak that a little bit. That's true. So if it does look a little weird in some things, that's my Photoshop skills. I'm not a designer. Shocking. So a couple things. We're also using the step functions HTTP API calls.
Super cool one.
And we talked about this a little bit ago, which depends on EventBridge connections.
Right, exactly.
So really cool integration in that you create the connection and then you can use it repeatedly with the HTTP API calls. So
this was a fun one actually that I learned while we were working on this, and I was playing around with the Adobe APIs. That they provide you with.
I hate to say,
I gotta get a little bit closer.
Our producer isn't helping us at all. So
But so when we were interacting with the Adobe API, you've got to make an authenticated request, and you use an OAuth token. But the thing is that token expires every 24 hours or whatever it is, right? And so typically you would have to write a whole lot of code to go and refresh that OAuth token.
I wrote that.
You wrote it?
Yes, I did. Well, because so here's the fun of getting stuff ready for reInvent. This is probably more than I should say, but when things aren't quite ready, we mock some of it, right? Until we know the idea. And so I mocked these different things in Lambda. So I wrote all that code. I was like, it is. Yeah.
And so this is the great thing with the step functions and the EventBridge API destinations. We have this connection resource where you can just tell it, hey, Adobe's doing OAuth authentication. Here's my client's ID and my client's secret. And then, this connection will take care of refreshing that OAuth token whenever you want to make an API call to the Adobe API or any other one that supports OAuth.
And where that gets really slick is you can also add extra headers, so it can become very customizable. And so we were able to match exactly what Adobe was expecting from us to get the token back. Happens immediately. Bob's your uncle. I don't even know when to use Bob's your uncle, but I think I got it there.
He's not my uncle.
Okay, well, there you go. All right, well, with that, we're going to have to decide. Do you have anything else you want to throw out?
No, that was great.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Eric.
All righty, we'll see you later.
Bye.